Howdy everyone, Showbiz T. Jals here, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be doing an up-close and personal video of my Rockstar Chuck E. Cheese Walkaround costume. So before I get into the head itself, I'm going to talk to you guys about what's around it. So right over here we'll start, and some of you may notice what this is, others may not. This is a hockey helmet, and you may be wondering, what does this have to do with Chucky? Well, it's actually really important. So as many of you know, all Chuck E. Cheese walk-around heads, well, except for the really old ones, have helmets inside of them, so you'll see them inside. All Rockstar costumes, all Avenger ones, and I believe cool and possibly late PTT. So this is an exact helmet that you would see inside of a walk-around, but I will show you inside the head. There is no helmet, because when I bought it from a seller on eBay, they told me that they didn't have the helmet for Chucky, but they did show me to a website that sold the exact ones that are seen on the walk-around. So I ordered it from My Like Hockey, and it came in about like 2 days. And I was honestly surprised to find that this is actually the exact thing. Now I do plan on getting it inside the head eventually, but there's many things I have to do as it doesn't just plop right in there. I believe I either have to screw it on, or in some cases I've seen it be zip tied on, because there are metal bars inside the head, which I'll show you later, that kind of support the helmet. But yeah, so it's just a brand new helmet. It's never ever used, but hopefully it will be eventually. And next to the helmet are these pair of gloves here, which you've already seen if you've watched my unboxing video of these. So before I got the head, I was lucky enough to find a listing of Rockstar gloves for an okay price. They were a little expensive, but they're in decent shape, so I figured I'd buy them. And if you want to learn more about these gloves, then you can go check out that unboxing video. But yeah, these are really nice. So for videos and for public events, these are the gloves I'll be using for Chucky. And you may be wondering, well, you don't have another pair of gloves. Yes, I do. As you've probably seen already in the beginning of this video, I have another pair of gloves. These are the gloves that came with the head. Now, as opposed to those ones, these are in horrible shape. As you can see, the leather's horribly cracked on this one. There's like a couple holes. Yeah, like you can barely perform with these at all. They're just not really suitable. But I would imagine these were found in a dumpster because if you don't already know from my community posts, this head and these gloves are from the Lakeland, Florida location. So I believe, I would assume, when they remodeled, they threw these out, I guess. Or maybe this person was an employee. But anyways, that leaves me with 2 pairs of gloves. So yeah, I guess I just have another set for the collection. And maybe in case I wanted to repair these one day if they, you know, got broken or something. But yeah, it's nice to have them. Plus, it did just come with the head, so yeah. Now moving on to the part you probably all clicked on this video for, is the head itself. So before we go in the head, I'll show you the exterior, which you've probably all seen before, but you probably haven't seen this close unless you're an employee. So we'll start with the eyes here. They're as expected, but mine have a little rust on them. That's a little gross, but you know, I would assume as of age, because this listing did come with the ears off, but I was able to get them back on with the screws and stuff. But they did have rust on the bottom from the nails and stuff, which is expected considering this is an early Rockstar costume. So yeah, he is missing an eyebrow. That's definitely an upsetting part, especially because it's going to be really challenging for me to get an extra eyebrow part. But, you know, if you have Chucky's eyebrow, let me know. I'd be very interested in buying it from you. But I can easily understand why these fall off, because when we get into the head, these are zip tied on. They have 2 zip ties, and they go in that like little hole there. I believe, yeah, there's 2 of them, and they just zip tie in between there. So obviously if this was thrown in the trash, that would just easily just pop off. But, you know, at least it still does have one. I have seen walk-arounds that don't have them, and it doesn't look horrible, but at least he does have a good side. And as I said earlier, the ears are, nothing's wrong with them. They're screwed in. I can take them off if I wanted to, but it's kind of a pain to get them back on, so I probably won't. Anyways, here's the other eye. It does have a little crack right there, but you know. The mouth sculpt is in pretty good shape. There's only one small tiny crack down there. There's the tongue. It's Chucky's tongue. And then up here is the nose, which I don't have. So yeah, along with an eyebrow, he didn't come with a nose, and also no tooth. But again, just like the eyebrow piece, these are very easy to lose, and, you know, these things could fall off, and I still got them for a great deal. But I am looking for a nose and a tooth, so if you have one or are willing to make some kind of reproduction, I'd be very interested in buying that from you. But some of you may have seen my community post where I took Chucky to a convention the other day, and he did have a nose, but he didn't. The funny thing is, I just used a plain old black t-shirt and kind of stuffed it in the nose area. Here, I could put it on. Boom, Chucky has a nose, and, well, up close it's not as clean, but from afar away and in photos, it just looks normal. And when I went to the convention, nobody noticed that this wasn't his actual nose. Now that we covered the outside of Chucky's head, let's go inside. So when you go in the head here, you can see it's just a plastic shell all around. And mine does have a little crack here. But as you can see here, I'm trying to get a good view of it. There's a sticker, if I can get my camera to focus. Yep, made in the USA, exclusively for CEC Entertainment, style Walkaround. Part, there's a number, part CEC head, vendor, and then there's like numbers. And then it's dated 2013. So yeah, this is a very early Rockstar head. And then over here, there's a number, which I believe is also, yeah, it's kind of sketched in there as well. But this is probably the production number, possibly. I'm not sure what it means, but it's probably how the people who made these identify which one's which. So again, like I said, with the ears, they screw on like that. So yeah, they're both on that side. And here is the frame for the helmet. So the helmet would attach either down here, I'm assuming. Yeah, probably along these places here. But yeah, when I wore this without the helmet, this kind of kept my head in a certain place in the costume, which allowed me to see out of the eyes pretty well. But obviously for comfort, it's not that nice. So I definitely want to get the helmet in as soon as possible. Anyways, there's a couple holes up here, probably for ventilation, because there is no fan in this costume, and it wouldn't make sense to put one in either, considering most Chuckies just do like 10-minute walkarounds in stores. But as you can see, here's where his missing eyebrow would be. You can see there are two parts there. If you look at this one, they're zip tied on. Just zoom in, just like that. Pretty simple. So obviously you could see they probably fall off more often than expected. And then there's the eyes. They're just kind of like glued around that. Let me see if I can section so you can see. Yeah, you can kind of see out of it. The vision's actually pretty well. The mesh in here, I don't know how that, if you could see that or not, but you can see pretty well out of that. And then there's the nose. It's just a little, just almost seems like you're just gonna look at a black towel or napkin when you look at the nose area. But it definitely makes for a good presentation. And then the fur's a little loose back here, kind of meant to hide the performer's neck, you know, so nobody sees it. But it is a little hard to hide the neck, considering when you do have a shirt, it just has a little collar, so it does get risky. But fortunately, it usually does the trick at CEC locations. Anyways, that's about it for the overview of my Chucky head. But before I wrap up this video, I did just want to include this one clip I recorded with my old mascot that many of you know, Geoffrey the giraffe. So for those who don't know or are new to this channel, almost 2 years ago now, I obtained a 2000s Geoffrey the giraffe costume from Toys R Us. Now, I loved that costume so very much, but I really wanted Chucky, and that was my whole purpose in the beginning, was to get some type of CEC walkaround. I would love to get Jasper one day, but I know that's not possible. So I settled for a Rockstar Chuck, and I'm very happy with him. But unfortunately, that did mean I had to part with Geoffrey in order to get not all of the money for Chucky, but a good portion of it. And then I just continued to save, and I eventually got the head. Fortunately for all of you, while Geoffrey said goodbye to my channel, he's not gone forever, because I did give him to a great friend of mine. Some of you may follow him. He does own a Rockstar head as well. He goes by the name of Dale the Parrot. So he very kindly took Geoffrey from me, and he gave me that push. So I was able to get Chucky. So I'd highly recommend subbing to his channel. He does a ton of mascot content. So if you want to see Chucky videos, Geoffrey videos, I'm sure he'll probably make them in the future. He has a Chick-fil-A cow costume. He's a truly incredible channel. Highly recommend subscribing. But yeah, I'm so happy Geoffrey was able to go to him, because I wanted Geoffrey to go to a good home, and I know he's safe there. Now, the last thing I'm going to put in this video is a video I recorded a couple weeks ago. Before I got rid of Geoffrey, I recorded myself with the head one last time. I wasn't sure when I was going to post the video or make that public, but I'm just going to put it in this video for those who'd want to see it. It's just kind of Geoffrey's final goodbye, and I probably said a lot of the same stuff I said just now. But thank you guys for watching, and here's that clip. Howdy everyone, Giles here. I'm not sure when you're seeing this clip. As I'm recording this, it is May 11th, 2026, and I am here with what used to be my Geoffrey Walkaround costume. Now, I know for certain the time this is uploaded, this will not be mine anymore, and it's not mine right now. Currently, he has been paid for, and he's going to my good friend, which some of you may know, at Dale the Parrot on YouTube. So, yeah, he will be taking great care of Geoffrey, using him in his videos, so you can go check his channel if you ever miss Geoffrey on here. It's definitely a hard thing to get rid of Geoffrey, but obviously I know what you guys are seeing in this video, and I know that it's really cool as well. But I'm really thankful for the opportunities I've had with Geoffrey. We've had a great almost 2 years, and he was my first introduction to the world of advertising mascots, and I couldn't be more thankful for the experiences and memories I've made with him. So, thank you, Geoffrey, and that's your last goodbye.